Hello there, Donnie Sauve. Welcome back to my Voodoo Lab tone studio. Alright, so dinner was great. She's an amazing cook and an amazing woman as well, a dear wife of mine. Anyways, where'd we leave off here? Okay, so we got that end done. Yeah, very important. Make sure that neck is tight. You rob you of sustain and all that. You know, and sustain I think is important. As a lot of players will tell you. Alright, so we've taken this pick guard off. Oh, kind of an aside here. So I was working on this thing, and of course I've had the buffer on it, and you know, the static electricity, you know, I noticed that like the stuff that I was brushing off here was kind of sticking, and I got this cloth, I don't know, it's got carbon fiber in it, and it wicks away the static electricity. I think it's used for like camera, film stuff, you know, plastic, and of course it finishes plastic anyway, and it works great on record albums as well. So we're going to see if that makes a difference, and it appears that it does. I don't want to run it into the grime. I wipe it off first because I want to keep this fairly clean. Alright, so meanwhile, alright, so we've taken the pick guard off. These, you know, tone and volume controls, you don't want to hit them with any solvent that I know of. I mean, you're just going to wipe out the lettering and stuff, and then you'll wind up starting all over. You just take your toothbrush, and you just brush it like this. Oh man, they come nice and clean. Works great. You don't really have to take them off. I did, just, you know, just because. I don't know. This switch always seems to have a little nubbin on it, a little switch knob. They got this serrated with big serrades on it, you know. And I just taken and nipped that thing off, and I just like it better. And it turns out to be a nice smooth job. It's the right tool for the job, kind of thing. I don't know. At any rate, so inside here. And I think this is for me, this is extremely important. Alright, so you're going to see this wire here. Right there. That's attached to the body. If you notice up here, it's kind of dark color. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. That means that the factory has put on some of our lovely shielding paint. In electrical engineer terms, or whatever it is, they call that a Faraday cage, and some of the amplifiers have it around the tubes and all that. Mine, my Super Champs also have them. And it helps to cut down the hum. And, you know, these things have magnificent tones, but one of the trade-offs is the hum, and I don't know why Fender doesn't do it, but you know, they've got the noiseless pickups and all of that, and I'm not sure exactly what the story is, but there's a guy named Illich, and he makes this what he calls a hum canceling system, and it's very effective. It's probably 80-90% effective. My thought is if you have less hum to start with, there's not as much to take away, and you know, I don't know. It just seems like a better plan. I could be right, I could be wrong. Your mileage may vary. Use your best judgment. Now this was kind of an oddball because this is your Schaubacher, you know, and it's got the split, you know, deluxe switching system, and boy. It's pretty interesting stuff. I'm not a big humbucker fan. I tend to prefer single coils, but I think Shaw did a nice job on this setup, and it works very well in this particular instrument. It's got the Fat 50s as well. So at any rate, I have the Illich hum canceling system installed in this, and I just love it. I've got it on all of my instruments. But you're going to want the shielding taken care of, and of course, you want to make sure you have your shielding, on your pick guard. Why he has whatever arranged the way he has it, I can't tell you, and I am not going to mess with it. He's got a couple of, you can dial the thing in. At any rate, so, and he's going to kill me if he sees this, but, I'm just going to leave it. At any rate, okay, so, like I say, the pick guard's a little grungy, so we're going to use some of the plastics on that, and it kind of takes some of the fine scratches out. It shines it up a little bit. Nice. We're going to swap our screws out. We got our caps clean. Okay, so now these two brushes come in extremely handy. Okay, so we got our bridge here. Okay, this here gets in there, and it's kind of like doing a little dusting or whatever, and it'll kind of get some of the kind of stuff out of there. Start with a cleaner, cleaner part to start with, and you don't have as much to do when you get into the metal renew, which is what we're going to have to use here. Metal renew and our cotton swabs. And so you can see the before, well, you saw the before, even in just scrubbing it out, it seemed to become quite a bit cleaner. I think once I get the metal renew on there, it'll look pretty close to mint there. At least it'll improve it greatly. All right, so like I say, if you haven't changed this one here is not old, maybe a year or so, and so I don't think it needs any of the pots and all that. If you have inferior pots or anything, I suggest go with the good stuff. It does make a difference. I have some people say that it doesn't, and okay, that's fine. For me, it makes a difference. Like I say, on my 65 Strat, I used that original stuff for a really long time, and at one point, I just decided, well, I'm going to just try switching them and see what happens, and it really lit it up. It made it nicer. Okay, so that will conclude part 6. Have a super day. We'll be back.